In this video, I'm going to talk about application logging. Like what does that mean? Registering or logging user activity that takes place in your application to our dashboard, so you can view what happens when in your code or in your application. So you can register suspicious activity or just monitor how frequent or when users log in. So as you can see, we have 4 application logs right now, and we are currently logging when a user logs in and when a user registers. So let's dive into the documentation first. So for this, we use an endpoint for this, obviously, and for this endpoint, the user needs to be logged in. You can't use this endpoint before that the user is logged in. So for that, we need to set a header authorization with the value bearer, whatever you want to call it, and then the actual auth token. So for this endpoint, obviously make sure that the application has been initialized and that you are logged in, as you can read here. So in the body, you need to include the username of the user, the action that the user should have done when you log it. This is a string, whatever you want. The max length of the string is 25 characters, I believe, so don't make it too long. The IP, where it's coming from, and the application ID. Okay, so let's go into the code. So I have a few examples when logging in, when registering, when extending their subscription, when logging with license only. After this was successful, so when they are logged in, registered, extended, or logged in with license only, this means that the authentication token has been set, as I will show here. If the response was okay, so when the user exists, password exists, hardware ID exists, two-factor authentication is enabled and is okay, then we receive the response data from this object when we send the post request for logging in. Then we make we set the object in the to the user data, this class, and then we set this to the response data, which includes all these values like ID. The response data will include the ID, username, email, etc. But the most important part for sending logs is the auth token. So when we go to the so when this succeeds and not fails, otherwise we exit, then we can send a log with the username that logs in and user logged in as a as you will see, an action. So the log this function requires a username and action, and as you can see, this takes user data, as we showed before, dot token to validate if it's a authenticated user and that the token exists, auth token exists. If not, the request will fail and no log will be created. Okay, so let's log in with the test user just to show you, like, this was the last log. 4 logs, test user, test pass 1 2 3. Okay, we should have logged in 4 5 on this date. Yeah, okay, and let's try to do this after initializing. Before initializing, obviously it will fail. But if we try to do this when not logged in, username as tests, for example, doesn't matter. If we try to do this, then invalid authentication token because the user is not authenticated, and no, so 5 and still 5. So this was application activity login. I hope this was helpful. Have a nice day.